theater and in the seats, thank you so much for coming out and keeping your masks on while you're in the theater. We really appreciate it. Hopefully, as things relax a little bit more, we'll get into the swing, but thank you for remaining to keep everyone safe as we re-enter the art space. I'd like to say thank you so much for Matt Edwards on the piano. It is so lovely to have that happening, and so I don't think we've had enough. So I'm going to turn it back over to Matt Edwards, and he has a number for you. So sit back, enjoy, continue to drink and eat while Matt tinkles the ivories. Tickles.
Good to see everybody. Tickles, tinkles. True story. Another bride, another groan, another Sunday honeymoon, another season, another reason for making whoopee. A lot of shoes, a lot of rice. The groom is nervous, he answers twice. It's really killing. Willing to make whoopee. Now picture a sweet little love nest down by where the roses cling. Now picture that same sweet little love nest. See what a year can bring. He's washing dishes, he's washing them baby clothes. He's so ambitious, I tell you that boy is so. It's really killing. The boy's so willing to make whoopee. Judge who thinks it's funny says I got to pay 6 to her. I said, now judge, well I suppose I was to fail. He said, well Matt, we gonna have to throw you right on in jail. You better keep her, I think it's cheaper than making whoopee.
Welcome to Bennington Performing Arts Center, home of Old Castle Theater, and tonight's performance of the complete works of William Shakespeare Abridged. So, now before we get going, I do have a few brief announcements. First, the use of flash photography or recording of this show by any means is strictly prohibited by the management. Also, please refrain from eating, drinking, or smoking anything during the performance. For your convenience, toilets are located in the lobby. And now take a moment to locate the exit nearest your seat. And should the theater experience a sudden loss of pressure, oxygen masks will fall from overhead. Please, place the mask over your nose and mouth and continue to breathe normally. If you've come to the theater with a small child, please place your mask on first, and then let the little bugger fend for themselves. Well, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mike Cutler, and tonight my two partners and I are going to attempt a feat which we believe to be unprecedented in the history of theater. That is, to capture in one theatrical experience the magic, yes, the genius, the towering grandeur that is the complete works of William Shakespeare. So, yes?
That's not until January. I said one piece, one monologue, not the whole show.
I'm sorry, I got a little carried away.
I know you did. I know you couldn't hear me through the mask. I love your excitement and your energy. Thank you so much for that opening.
Thanks.
And if you want to see the rest of the show up here in January. And then to represent our wonderful Old Castle Theater Company, we're going to welcome Mr. Rick Howe out to the stage. On the stage, Rick, where are you? And he's going to be doing
Hello. Some of you have heard this before. It's a very long song. It's got lots of pages. If someone stood up in a crowd and raised his voice up way out loud and waved his arm and shook his leg, you'd notice him. If someone in a movie show yelled, "Fire in the second row, this whole place is a powder keg," you'd notice him. And even without clucking like a hen, everyone gets noticed now and then. Unless, of course, that personage should be invisible, incomprehensible. Me, Cellophane, Mr. Cellophane, should have been my name, Mr. Cellophane, 'cause you can look right through me, walk right by me, and never know I'm there. I tell you, Cellophane, Mr. Cellophane, should have been my name, Mr. Cellophane, 'cause you can look right through me, walk right by me, and never know I'm there. Now, suppose you was a little cat, residing in a person's flat, who scratched your ear and fed you fish. You'd notice him. Suppose you was a woman wed and sleeping in a double bed beside one man for 7 years. You'd notice him. A human being's made of more than air. With all that bulk, you're bound to see him there. Unless that human being next to you is unimportant, unimpressive. You know who. Should have been my name, Mr. Cellophane, 'cause you can walk right by me, see right through me, and never know I'm there. I tell you, Cellophane, Mr. Cellophane, should have been my name, Mr. Cellophane, 'cause you can look right through me, walk right by me, and never know I'm there. Never even know.
and Matt Edwards. Another big round of applause for Mike Cutler as well. who's joined us. So if I didn't greet you at the door, my name is Jennifer Jasper. I'm the executive director here at Bennington Performing Arts Center, the home of Old Castle Theater Company, and I'm so happy to see everyone here. Can we take the mic down just a little bit? It's a little bit zingy. And I have a speech impediment, so I get things like tinkling and tickling wrong. So I'm always fun behind a microphone. I would like to say, I came on board February of 2020, because timing's everything, and it's been just an amazing year and a half in a lot of ways, and we've learned a lot and grown a lot, and are so excited just to be able to open our doors again and slowly get back to where we were. I hope that this is the first of many events that we invite people that support us. We invite people from the community to tell them a little bit about us, to get them involved, and to make sure that arts stay vibrant in Bennington. And this is the first of one of those events. This is for us to say thank you to each and every one of you who have helped keep our, now I'm going to get all emotional, but who have helped to keep our doors open while closed. Donated, bought a ticket, talked about us, joined us online for free events. It was a trying year, but we're still here, and it couldn't be done without the support of all of you sitting out in the seats. And to those of you who are walking into the building for the first time, welcome. And we hope to see more of you, and welcome to the Bennington theater community. So give yourselves a round of applause. I'm going to start off with just a short presentation to tell you where your money and what we've been doing over the past year while we've all been home working remotely or on the front lines or hunkered down in our basement behind masks, what we've been doing here and how your money what we've been doing with everything that's been given to us and the grants and everything else. So go ahead, Corey. So who knew? Here we were. I came on board in February of 2020. There had been an amazing roof campaign that many of you donated for. We were so excited and knew that we had not had a lot of programming. We didn't program for the month of April, knowing that we were going to be closed to replace the roof. Actually, it put us in a great position because we didn't have to cancel any events when everything closed down in April of 2020 or in February. So we were kind of in a good state. We didn't have to say, sorry, folks, and refund a lot of tickets. We replaced the roof. Along that, we also took the opportunity to upgrade some electrical stuff behind the stage, and we were able to take the time to sand all the layers and layers and layers of paint that had built up over the years on the stage floor. So that's what we were able to do. And no more buckets are backstage. So if you've ever been backstage here during the work-taking season, you can now see your way from one side to the other. Awesome! We're very excited about that. And for some of you in the audience, you're getting a bigger kick out of that. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's not going to be an obstacle course. We also decided, again, timing is everything. We opted to, with the help of Chuck Putney, who is one of our board members, he and I sat down and worked on a cultural facilities grant to replace the air conditioning units. For those of you who have known, who've been here in the summer and wrapped up in a blanket, or sweltered or wrapped up in a blanket because we couldn't regulate the air conditioning or it was very loud, we decided to apply for a grant, which we received from the Vermont Arts Council, and that gave us the opportunity to replace the units on top of the roof and also put air conditioning in the office for the first time and in the tech booth. So for those of you who have ever worked this summer in that tech booth, it is crazy hot. Like stage managers, I'm amazed. I think some actually passed out, vomited. Like it was really, really hot up there. So I'm very happy to have received that grant. And through your generous donations, we were able to raise the matching funds through our Keep It Cool campaign, which just ended, and we were able to match. This is a better view. As you can see the roof, the new roof. On the left-hand side is the old, with the old units. And now you can see that we have 2 brand new units that circulate the air in here and also cool in the office area and the booth area. But again, timing is everything, because at the same time, while we were having all this work done, we decided to take the opportunity to get duct work for air filtration and air movement in our green room and dressing room area, and also get air cleaners for in here to make this a much safer environment moving on, and also to be able to meet the requirements to be able to continue to do professional theater per equity rules. So again, once again, it was like happened that it was the perfect opportunity to get all this wonderful work, and thank you for all of you who supported in that effort and made that happen. Moving on stage, off the stage, we were doing stuff. When I came on, we were in the middle of launching a rebrand to talk about the movement of the building being the Bennington Performing Arts Center, which houses 2 companies. The first being Old Castle Theater Company, which is the resident professional theater company, and then Bennington Community Theater. Thanks to great in-kind work by Kate Whitehall, Tony Connor, and Amber Roberts for building the websites, launching the brand, and that's been a great success over the year. Go ahead, and we also cleaned up and reorganized the area. So if you've been up and around, we've been cleaning up and organizing offstage areas. With the rebranding, we also upped our game virtually. So go ahead and we kept in touch, and this is where it became really interesting because we had to find new ways to reach out to our audience. And like so many theaters, we had to go to the virtual world, which opened our eyes. If you had ever said that a virtual experience could be as engaging as an in-person experience, I would have been like, as a storyteller, not so much. By the end of this year, we had online events that actually felt, I think our minds had switched over and were really engaging and intimate, and we had some really wonderful virtual performances. Virtually, we also really launched a social media, so our Facebook posts, we became much more engaged virtually with our audience. Our subscriber base increased. We gained new donors. We had all this happen while we were closed, which meant it was a perfect time to reach out and engage with people who simply want to connect. And I think that that comes to the source of theater in any way in our human condition, is that we're always looking for connection. The theater is a place that we connect through. Art is the way that we connect. And we will find a way, like water into a building, we will find our way to squeeze through and make that connection no matter how we do it. And so virtually, doors opened. And moving forward, we are going to be able to offer streaming tickets for events for those people who cannot make it into the theater and want to experience what we're doing on the stage while being at home. So it really opened the door to reach audience in a new and different way. And everyone became very good at Zoom and being able to log on and get in touch. So we moved to our online programming. We go ahead and so we went online. Bennington Community Theater kept us engaged throughout the entire year, and I'd like to thank everybody who's involved with BCT. They found new and interesting things to do almost every month, like we want to do Shakespeare with a twist. We want to do this, we want to do that, and our last one was a really successful virtual play reading series that featured new works from people around the area. And we had great online registration for it. We had 80 to 90 people every time it came on, and those we offered free to the community. And we're just really, really pleased with how many people tuned in, even a year into the pandemic, because people were becoming Zoom weary. Old Castle Theater put on an online holiday show in the winter. And then we brought Story Night. We kind of housed Story Night here and took it virtually. And that one became, instead of a performative storytelling evening, it became more like share your stories around the campfire. And I think there are some of us that are going to miss the virtual Story Nights because we're going live with them again. We also, last fall, before we had to close down again, were able to get some music in the space with COVID seating. And we were able to mount our annual Veterans Show. So we were able to continue to do some things. Community engagement. So this is something that I believe very, very strongly about. And the community engagement, when we went virtual, how many people were able to connect and how we were able to connect to that. And the first event we did was in November of last year. We did, or October, it was Days of Recreation, and that was put on by Live and Color Theater out of Connecticut, who connected with us, and we connected with Bennington College, and we connected with Nathan at Trinity College, and we also connected with Bennington Community Theater and Old Castle Theater Company, and we did 7 plays by 7 playwrights of color. We cast people from all over. We had professional actors and non-professional actors from all over the country that participated. We found new and innovative ways to put these online, and we reached thousands of people through Facebook, and we had hundreds actually view the event in October. So really excited, and a great way to show collaboration works. We recently just teamed up with PAVE and had an evening that was a fundraiser. It was an online event. Very important that we reached out to community members. And again, I was contacted by a filmmaker who's down in Great Barrington, who I had done a reading with. She contacted me and said, hey, I directed this film starring Sharon Lawrence. It is about Katharine Graham, who suffered from who was a victim of domestic abuse, who was the editor-in-chief of the Washington Post, and she was going to be doing a one-woman show when COVID hit, and they decided to film the reading. And then they thought, hey, Sharon Lawrence is an amazing advocate. I mean, she's an activist extraordinaire, especially for women in film. And they decided what better way than to team up theaters with domestic abuse organizations to bring the message together and team them up to, through art and theater, get across a message about abuse. And it was a really wonderful night. We had panelists from all over the state join us, as well as the creative team. We've had nothing but great comments from people who watched the panel. It is still available. The panel is available. The film we were no longer because of SAG rules. But the panel discussion is still available on our YouTube channel, and if you want to listen to it, people who are like, I usually don't stay, we're really sorry that it ended. Like, we had people stay the full hour for the panel discussion afterwards. So really happy with that, and just shows one more way of we are ready to connect and we're ready to engage. So thank you for everyone who went to that and participated in that. And then we're also looking down the line of education. We had to put our education program on hold with the high school, and with a K-6 project that was backed by the Bank of Bennington had to be tabled. And so we were able to do a little bit of an online day camp this year with puppet making workshops and storytelling. And that teamed up with the Bennington Rec Center. And then we also have just started to launch a workshop series. So I'd really like to get more education-driven programs in as things open up. Where are we next? So now what's coming up? So this is what's coming up immediately, and then we're going to talk about what's coming up like throughout the year and why you're all here for special announcements. But this Tuesday night here in the theater, we're going to be doing story night. And it's going to be live, and I don't know, I'm kind of a little uncomfortable with doing it live and in person instead of our little campfire Zoom chats. But the theme is determination, and I'm determined to make it a successful event. And so tickets are $5. We're going to be doing, everyone will be masked, we'll be doing COVID seating, but come on down and enjoy some storytelling. And if you'd like to tell, contact me afterwards and give me a little nudge and say, I'm going to come up and tell a 5 to 8 minute story on determination with no notes. We're also kicking off a music series, and that begins May 30th at 3 p.m. We're going to have the cello duo of Perry Morse and Annabelle Hoffman. We're going to be sending out a press release. They just got us their marketing materials, so we're a little bit behind that one. But they're both extremely gifted and cellists who have known each other since college. And I was talking to Perry, and she said Annabelle is the only person who spoke the same language as me, because the only thing I could really communicate was with my cello, and she's the only one who spoke cello like me. And so their lives have taken very different routes as far as musicians, and they're coming together for a concert, and they're just super excited, and we're super excited to have them here on the 30th. June 4th and 5th, we're bringing in Maria Zamantowski, who is a flamenco guitarist. She's out of Saratoga. I had the honor of watching her years ago at Michigan Women's Music Festival, like 25 years ago, and then just found out recently like she's out here. So I went to a concert. I was like, I still listen to your CDs when I'm writing. And I'd grown up in Santa Fe and had grown up around flamenco guitarists, and I have never seen anyone's fingers move the way, I mean, they're so fast, it sounds like more than one person. I don't know how she does what she does. And I found out that she was here and went to a concert down in Cambridge and talked to her afterwards and said, I saw you 25 years ago. She's like, I remember that concert because I was performing there as well. And I was like, hey, well, I'm, executive director for this Performing Arts Center in Bennington. And she's like, I'd love to come play sometime. So she is. June 4th and 5th. So that is going to be here in the evening at 7:30. And tickets are available for both the cello event and the flamenco guitar event. And they're on our website. You go to bpacbt.org for tickets and more information. We also have flyers outside that tell you all about the upcoming events. We also have Amy Hayes is starting a workshop and to work on people who want to have some coaching with Shakespeare monologues, breaking them down and working. So if you know somebody in theater who is interested in taking a workshop, it's going to be in person. Amy Hayes will be here doing her thing with you with Shakespeare. So sign up or sign your grandkid up or sign somebody up. Give them a birthday present and say, learn some Shakespeare. Our sponsors are growing. So this year, in lieu of advertising because of the economic situation in Bennington and because we weren't sure if we were going to be able to do a season until just recently because of the shifting sands, we are looking at sponsors. So we're so happy to announce that we have Bennington Tennis Center, Anthony and Jacqueline Morrow, Bennington Potters, and GVH Studios already on our sponsor list. Reach out to me, not tonight necessarily, reach out to me if you're interested in sponsoring, and we have more information on that in the lobby when you exit tonight to take with you. Now I'm going to turn it over. I'd like to thank you all again, and that was my presentation, not very fancy, but I had some photos. I'm going to welcome Mark Blank up here, who is the Vice President of the BPAC Board and Chairman of the VCT Committee. And he's going to come up and talk to you about what you can expect this coming year with Bennington Community Theater.
to talk to you about what we've got planned for the Bennington Community Theater this year. But first, I would like to, on behalf of the board, thank you all again for being here, and thank you all again for your support of BPAC. We would not be here if it weren't for you. You make it all possible, so thank you very much. And I would like to also, on behalf of the board, take this opportunity to acknowledge and thank the staff of Bennington Performing Arts Center. It has been a tremendously difficult year, and this staff really pulled together and worked really hard to make productions happen online and simultaneously do so much in this space. It may not look real different, but there have been so many changes, and it'll feel different this summer. So Jennifer Jasper, Nathan Stiff, Jana Lilly, Rick Howe, Kira Fitzgerald, Corey Wheat, David Gruppe, and Kate Whitehall. Would you join me in giving them all a round of applause? The actors and directors of Bennington Community Theater have been online doing some things this year. Shakespeare with a Twist, the play reading series that Jen mentioned. But the actors and directors and stage crew and costumers and everybody behind the scenes at Bennington Community Theater is anxious and can't wait to get back on the stage in front of you, live in person. And so I'm here to tell you about our season coming up, starting in September and running through next April, May. So starting this year, Bennington Community Theater is stepping outside of the box and into the graveyard. Yes, great. That's right, graveyard. The BCT's first production this year is called Voices from the Grave, and will actually take place within the famed First Church Cemetery in Old Bennington. It is a location theater event, so it will not be here, it'll be up the road. Voices from the Grave will highlight memorable people who rest in that beautiful old burial ground. BCT actors will be portraying a dozen of Bennington's late residents. Their dramatic and compelling stories will make history come alive, literally. Want to be a part of this exciting project, directed and headed by Ingrid Madeleine? First, we need actors. There are 5 roles for women and 7 men, and auditions will be held here at BPAC on June 12th and 13th. We'll also need tour guides and stage crew and costume assistants and publicists. Lots of opportunities to pitch in. So follow us on Facebook, follow BPAC on Facebook, check the website for contact information. The event is scheduled for the last weekend of September, the 25th and 26th. With rain dates on the following weekend, the 2nd and 3rd of October. Tour groups of about 10 people will leave every half an hour or so. And so again, follow us on BPAC and look for more information in the fall on Voices from the Grave. Our next production for the season, we step back into the box, back into a more comfortable setting. And we are pleased to dedicate this production to Sally Sugarman, who meant so much to the theater community here in Bennington. It will be an adaptation of The Haunting of Hill House, the novel by Shirley Jackson, the play by F. Andrew Leslie, and will be directed by Robert Ebert. It opens Halloween weekend with auditions in August. So look forward to The Haunting of Hill House, a local story for Halloween weekend. And the following, BCT will be doing 2 weekends this year for the first time. Coming up in January, the complete works of William Shakespeare Abridged, which you saw a glimpse of, an overexcited Mike Cutler getting ahead of things. This play is written by Adam Long, Daniel Singer, and Jess Winfield, and is directed by Todd Help. Now, Todd Jelt. Now, we've been wanting to bring the complete works of Shakespeare abridged to the BPAC stage for 2 years, I think. And it just hasn't worked because, COVID. But we're finally going to, it's finally going to happen. It was a production originally done at the Dorset Playhouse. So this production was originally done in Dorset and features our own Mike Cutler and Chris Restino and a third actor who will have to cast. So there will be a casting opportunity. It's all 37 plays in 97 minutes. And it is a riot. It is Shakespeare for those who don't like Shakespeare. It is Shakespeare for those who love Shakespeare. It really is a great evening for everybody. And we close our season in April of next year with a musical that we tried to do 2 years ago. A musical review that I'm calling Hope is Found, a Broadway-style review. It's conceived and directed by myself, and with musical direction by Richard Cherry, and features songs from the 1940s all the way up to the present day from Broadway, and they all have to do with something around hope. And I chose that theme. We stumbled upon that theme before COVID. So I think it'll be even more appropriate now. So that show was cast once, and we hope to have most of those folks come back to join us, but I know a few have already left town, so we'll have to hold auditions again for that. But we'll have auditions coming up this year. We're always looking for stage crew and costumers and designers and set builders and publicists and producers and sponsors, and it is community theater. And it doesn't happen without a community. It takes so many people to be involved to make this happen, just for sheer love of doing theater. And so I thank you for your support of Bennington Performing Arts Center and for Bennington Community Theater, and we really look forward to seeing you this fall. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I'd also like to make a note from Voices of the Grave. This is also a community collaboration between the Historical Society and Bennington Museum. The Historical Society's been doing all the writing for it, and it's been really fun for them to write up. These are all history geeks to be able to write pieces for people to perform. So it's definitely a project of love from all involved. So now I am going to welcome to the stage virtually, because he can't be here because he's still in Texas, is our artistic director, Nathan Stiff, and he is going to join us to talk about what's coming up for Oldcastle this summer. Hey, Nathan.
The artistic director of Oldcastle, and I know a lot of you, but I don't know all of you, so I thought maybe I'd start by just giving you a little bit of background on who I am and my connection to Oldcastle, and maybe why I'm on Zoom instead of there with you tonight. I began working with Oldcastle in 1998. The first show I appeared in as an actor was Bells Are Ringing over at the old Arts Center. Since that time, I have appeared in a number of different shows, including Company and Forever Plaid, most recently in Moonlight and Magnolias, and in 2001, I worked for the entire summer at Oldcastle as the company manager, and that's also the summer where I met my wife, Sarah Grabowski, who is now Sarah Stiff. Was an assistant stage manager at Oldcastle that summer, and so we met, fell in love, and the rest is history. So you can imagine that this is, Oldcastle is a place that holds a very special place in my heart and a big part of my family. In 2016, Eric Peterson asked me to come and direct a production of 39 Steps. And since then, I've directed a number of shows there at Oldcastle, including most recently in 2019, Neil Simon's Brighton Beach Memoirs. So my connection to Oldcastle goes way, way back. But why am I on Zoom? In addition to being an actor and a director, I am also a professor. I hold a PhD in theater from the University of Colorado in Boulder. And for the last 5 years, my family and I have been living in San Antonio, Texas, where I teach at Trinity University. It's a small liberal arts university here in San Antonio. So I get to spend my winters in Texas and my summers in Vermont, which is a pretty good life. When Eric left in 2020, it was really important to me that I did anything I possibly could to help keep this company running and to keep professional theater a part of the Bennington community. I immediately offered to help in any way I could, and after some really amazing conversations with Jennifer Jasper and Richard Howe and the board of directors, I was asked to come on board as the artistic director. And my first year as the artistic director wasn't quite what I had anticipated. It was filled with challenges, but I do have to say that being the artistic director of Oldcastle Theater is really one of the great honors of my life, and I feel so grateful to have been given this opportunity. And I just want to thank Jennifer and Rick and the entire team at Oldcastle, and especially the board of directors. My job, as I see it, is to continue on the legacy started by Eric Peterson and the rest of the Oldcastle team, and to revitalize and bring new energy to this company, and I'm really excited to do that. So, as Jennifer said, we have been hard at work throughout the last year preparing for reopening, and we couldn't be more excited about the plans for our organization, and especially about our upcoming 49th season. I'm not sure if my slides are showing it. Oh, there they are. Excellent. When we were thinking about crafting the shows for this season, we wanted to find plays that really celebrated all the things that theater does so well. Theater offers us this opportunity to explore the human condition. And I think that's exactly what the shows that we've chosen for this season do. They're plays about making connections. We've all missed the opportunity to connect with other people for this past year, and that's what these plays allow us to do. They're plays about the indomitability of the human spirit, about persevering, about strength, about power, about thriving. And they're plays which ask us to use our imagination, which is something that I think theater does better than any other medium. So, without further ado, I'd like to officially announce our 49th season at Oldcastle Theater Company. We're going to begin our season on July 9th with a production of Visiting Mr. Greene by Jeff Barron. This is a story about a recently widowed man named Mr. Greene. He was hit by a car driven by a corporate executive named Ross Gardner, and a judge orders Ross to make weekly visits to Mr. Greene to help him out with groceries and other necessities. Neither of them want to be a part of these weekly visits. So it's a play that starts out as kind of sort of an odd couple comedy about two men who are forced to spend time together when they don't want to be around each other at all. But it quickly becomes this really powerful and moving drama about making connections and about family and different kinds of family. These men get to know about each other and care about each other. This play, Visiting Mr. Greene, was written in 1994 and then updated in 2005. It is wildly successful play. It's been translated into 22 different languages and had productions all over the world. And so we're really excited to bring this play to Oldcastle. Oldcastle favorite Richard Howe will be playing Mr. Greene, and a really fantastic young actor named Dean Leonard will be making his Oldcastle debut as Ross. I gotta say, I think this is a perfect play to welcome back our audiences. I promise that you will laugh, and you will be moved, and you will connect with these characters very, very deeply. And I can't wait to share this one with you. Our second show, running August 6th through the 15th, is Shakespeare's Will by Canadian playwright Vern Thiessen. This is a really beautifully written one-woman play which explores the inspiring and complicated life of Anne Hathaway. She's the wife of William Shakespeare, not the actress. This is the wife of William Shakespeare. It's a story of this woman, and this woman who loved her husband really deeply and her children, and made incredible sacrifices for both her husband and her family. And through it all, she maintained her strength and her spirit, and dealt with all of the challenges that life brought her, both with and without the assistance of the most famous playwright in history, William Shakespeare. This is a beautiful poetic play, and gives us some insight about a woman who most of us probably aren't that familiar with. Katrina Ferguson, who you may remember from Oldcastle productions of The Ride Down Mount Morgan and A Moon for the Misbegotten, is going to return to Bennington this summer to play Anne Hathaway, and we're going to be really excited to have her back and share this really fantastic play with you. Our final show of the 49th season is going to be running September 3rd through the 12th, and it is Jeffrey Hatcher's adaptation of Henry James's The Turn of the Screw. It is a highly theatrical tale of a Victorian-era governess who is hired to work in an estate and take care of two orphan children. She learns that the deaths of her predecessor and former groundskeeper, and starts to become sort of haunted by the ghosts of these two individuals. But the question is, are the ghosts real, or are they merely figments of her imagination? The play, I mean, not only does this play examine the power of human imagination, but the style and the structure of the play ask the audience to use their own imaginations in interesting and creative ways, and I'm really excited about that. We are also really, really excited to welcome Jillian Armante as director for our production of the Turn of the Screw. As a director, Jillian has received Drama Critics Awards, several LA Ovation Awards, LA Weekly Awards. As an actor, she has received a Drama Desk nomination for her role in The Cider House Rules. And she is probably best known for her role on the CBS series Judging Amy. She played Donna Kozlowski. We can't tell you how thrilled we are to have Jillian join our Oldcastle team. We've already had several meetings, and I know she has some really fun and creative ideas about the play. And she's here with us tonight from Los Angeles. About herself and the play. So Jillian.
Hi everybody, thanks for having me. Very excited about this. I was approached by Jennifer Jasper, who I knew in the theater trenches of Seattle in the, I'm going to say late 80s, early 90s, and before the pandemic. And then the season shut down. And happily, I was welcomed to do this season. So I'm very excited about that. The play is really a phenomenal piece of writing, a great use for imagination in the theater. in terms of riding that fuzzy blue line between what is actually happening and what might be happening in the imaginations of a sexually repressed governess, which is all like the territory I love to play in. There are 2 actors in the show. The male actor plays every single part in the play, and the female actor just plays one. So it's a real tour de force for the male actor. I am a theater producer, writer, director, and actor. Like I said, I came up through the trenches of Seattle. I am also a television and film actor. I live in Los Angeles. And especially living through the last year and a half, my longing to do live theater and an audience with a shared heartbeat is something that I just can't wait to get in that room with you guys. So if anyone has any questions, I'm here. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Tell your friends, because I think this is going to be a killer season. And ain't it great to be back?
And say, hi, Jillian. Nice to see you. Hi, Nathan. It's so nice to see you. And I need to wave to the camera because it's over there and they're seeing me. They can't see you, unfortunately, unless you all ran in front of that camera and said, hey, Jillian. I can't tell you how excited I am to have both Jillian and Nathan here. I'm thrilled beyond belief. I saw Jillian direct years in Seattle. She's innovative and scrappy, and I was always in awe of what she was able to bring out on a stage. Does anyone have anything to ask Nathan or Jillian while we have them here, or to say anything to them? No?
Well,
Rick?
we just might mention that 2 of our favorite designers are returning.
Oh, yes. Rick, why don't you come up and say... Because you're asking me to remember something off the top of my head.
You don't know. No. Right. Well, Carl Sprague, who's been with us for many years and has designed some just beautiful sets. He's just wonderful at ornate and realistic sets. Although the last one he did was Whipping Man. I don't know how many people saw that, which is gorgeous, very spare set. Burned out southern mansion in the Civil War, and it was quite something. And he's designing Visiting Mr. Greene, which is a very realistic set. It's a New York apartment that's been there for centuries, decades anyway. And then Kenneth Mooney, who's done tons of shows here. Let's see, well, he did Company years ago. He did, the most recent thing he did was, what is it?
I don't know, Rick.
Help me.
How many words?
Shakespeare. No, it's Eleanor,
Lion and Winter.
Lion and
Lion and
Winter.
Winter.
Thank you. Oh, God. Anyway, you all may remember that we had it was in 3 the seating was in 3 sections, and it was the most kind of unusual use of the space we've had, and it worked beautifully. So anyway, and I know that Jillian and Kenneth have had talks already, and I hear it's cooking.
I can only imagine. So I'm really excited, and as you can see, we're all super excited, and I can't wait to see these 2 in the flesh and be in the theater with you guys. Yay! And maybe Jillian will do some fire eating while she's here.
That could happen.
That could happen. It's not a dull moment when Jillian doesn't fire eat. Yes.
I will do it.
Has Jillian ever been to Vermont?
Jillian, have you ever been to Vermont?
I have been to Vermont. I did a musical touring production through there a long time ago, before I even moved to Seattle, and it's beautiful. I can't wait to get back.
Now, are you from New Jersey?
I'm from New Jersey, the Garden State.
So she's an East Coaster, somewhat. Anybody else have anything to ask Nathan or When are they going to be here? Nathan will be here sometime in June, I think, right, Nathan?
Yeah, probably around June 15th, June 16th. We're going to start rehearsals for the first show on June 22nd. So we'll be just right around the corner.
So, well, I'd like to thank Jillian and Nathan for both of you for showing up tonight. Thank you. We can't wait to see you. Yeah.
How much are tickets this year for Old Castle?
Tickets this year. Okay, so our gift to the Bennington communities, our tickets this year are one price. They're $25. Yay! We felt like it was really important to get people back into the theater and make it affordable, considering everybody's had such a hard economic year, that this way we could invite people in. We're looking at, and so we're really anxious to be, we're
And one
excited.
One night will be pay what you can, right?
Yes, I believe so. We're still not working
I thought you
out.
said that.
Yes. So, but yeah, so very excited to make it affordable, to bring people into the theater, open up our doors, and to be able to say thank you again, once again, to the community for supporting us throughout the year while we've been shuttered. And to thank everyone for, keeping us going. So, yeah, so look for tickets will be going on sale June 1st, I believe.
Yes, I was just going to say June 1st, yes?
Yeah.
Sounds like a great season. Thank you.
It is. The plays are beautiful. All of them are just like, oh, they're funny, they're touching, and beautifully written. So I'm very excited. I can't wait to see them. I'll be here. Anybody else? How about a big...
Will there be snacks?
Will there be snacks? Yes, there will be snacks. There are always snacks. There are always snacks. All right, well, how about a big round of applause for everyone in the room? I feel like I need to do a little sound, so long farewell and have us all sing that little song and have all of you be like, good night. At the end of that, I just had that vision. So, again, thank you so much for joining us here tonight and coming into the theater and marking our reopening. Be safe, and we look forward to seeing you come June or Tuesday when you tell your story about determination or any of the other music events coming up. So, thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening.